Welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice. Join me as we explore spirituality, self-help, and channeling spirit. Hello and welcome to From Beyond with your host Glenn Boddice, spiritual medium. Thank you once again for tuning in for another very interesting deep dive conversation. As in this week's show, we're going to be discussing the topic of the importance of the baseline check. Also in this week's episode, we have the channeling from the world of spirit, which sees me becoming a vessel for spirit to bring their communications and wisdom through. And then later on in the show, we have this week's energy forecast reading, which will hopefully help you navigate your way through the twists and turns of this week ahead. So as I say, we're going to be discussing the topic today of the importance of the baseline check. Now, what am I referring to when I say that statement? I'm talking about the natural present moment state of being. Now, this can be in either your physicality, so let's go there first. So we're talking about when you focus in on yourself and you notice your breathing. Is it quick? Is it slow? Also, notice how you're feeling emotionally. Are you feeling stressed? Are you feeling excited? Are you feeling overwhelmed or maybe a little bit down in the dumps? And also, what are you feeling in your physical body? Are there any aches or pains or discomforts? You know, are you feeling a little bit under the weather? Are you feeling a little bit achy with your muscles? Have you got any conditions, medical conditions that are more noticeable on the day that you do this baseline check? And also, finally, what thoughts are passing through your mind in the moment that you're observing, doing this baseline check? Now, it could be something as simple as, I need to go shopping today. I need to go and get some milk. And that thought is passing round your mind at the moment upon you doing this baseline check. Now, obviously, we all think random things every moment of every day. But at the point of you doing this test, just observe. Don't make any judgment. Just observe all of these elements. And the reason why I suggest that you do this is because once you have this established baseline in place in your present moment, then obviously anything other than those things, anything other than those experiences will be energy interacting with you, will be messages, will be you picking up on vibrations in your atmosphere. And so it's important that you have this test done before you encounter any sort of paranormal investigation, or if you move into any building or any new premises that you're wanting to explore further energetically, emotionally for paranormal activity. So when you've got that, then you're ready to go and explore, and always use that as a reference point. All of those, what I've said, what you're feeling emotionally, what you're feeling in your physical body. You know, maybe observe the temperature, how your body feels in that moment. And obviously any thoughts in your mind. And once you've established that, like I say, anything other than that won't be your natural state of being. So it's always good to question things when you do feel a little bit different, when you walk into a new building or a venue where you know or it's reported to have paranormal activity. Because what you may experience is the fact that what spirit can do, and certainly lower-based energies, lower-based spirits can do, is they can influence your mind. Now, this is very important, knowing this fact, because they can implant a thought, a memory in your mind in that moment in time. Now, this memory in your mind could be collected from your memory bank, all your life's experiences, and all of a sudden, randomly, that thought pops in your mind, and if it is of a negative experience, you'll start to feel those negative emotions. You'll feel a little bit down. as you're replaying that in your mind. I say you're replaying it, but actually it's being influenced by energy, by spirit. And the reason why some of these entities will do this will be to lower your vibration so that they can interact with you. If they find a chink in your armor, they will go for it, and they will manipulate your thoughts in order to pull your vibration down so that they can extract energy from you so that they can thrive and survive in that atmosphere. Now, that's one of the reasons why they'll do that. You could say on another reason, they may, if it's a higher based energy, a spiritual based energy, those memories could be coming to the surface because there's a message in that spirit communicator wants to convey to you and also the people around you. So it's good to have an understanding of yourself, first of all. And it's good to have that inquiring mind, and also, like I say, to keep checking in with yourself. Just because you've done it once at the beginning of your investigation doesn't mean that's it for the night. No, you need to keep referencing all of your experiences against that first baseline check. So be aware of that. Also, obviously, notice temperature changes. Now, this is a great tool. Once you've done that baseline check, any cold drafts of air that come in, suddenly feeling overwhelmed with temperature. Again, basing that, checking it against your baseline check there, and obviously making sure that you've ruled out all the obvious causes of that. For example, there's many ladies out there that are going through menopause, or the change as it's known. And this can have fluctuations in your body temperature, hot one minute, cold the next. And, if you're in that heightened state of awareness and there's a little bit of fear and anxiety upon walking into a building, then this can be misinterpreted for paranormal activity. So it's worth noting, or maybe, I know it's not what everybody wants to talk about, but maybe it's worth noting to the team that you're with on that night, well, actually, I'm going through this at the moment, so if I do feel this, it's not necessarily paranormal activity. It's worth putting out there. It might cause a little bit of embarrassment once you've said it, but actually, it will help the team. It would be for the benefit of the team with you doing that. Also, with me saying this as well, check in with yourself daily. This baseline check. Now, I do this every morning, and I'm sure most of you do without even realizing. You'll open your eyes, you'll have a stretch in your bed there, and you'll think, I've got this ache or pain here. Oh, I feel quite refreshed, recharged. I feel a little bit still tired. I could do with another lie-in. And then you'll get a random thought of maybe what you need to do that day pop in your head. Now, we're all doing this every morning, but we're not realizing that this is actually us doing a baseline check ahead of our day unfolding. So all it is being more aware, more consciously aware of this is what you need to be doing ahead of working with spirit, or indeed moving in and working with an environment on a paranormal investigation. So it's worth observing that. And being observant, like I say, is key. When you're on a paranormal investigation, you need to not only be checking on referencing from your baseline check, but any subtle changes, because energy, frequency, and spiritual beings will change that vibration in and around yourself very, very subtly. So you have to be on the ball, you have to be present, you have to be observing all of these things, and then you can then call that out to the rest of the team that you're working with, and then they too can continually question these things and maybe record it, maybe write it down, jot the time that these occurrences occurred as well, because all that will add up at the end of the investigation there as well. Now, what I've already alluded to really is that the world of the unseen, spirit, energies, frequency, will all interact with you. They want to interact with you, but you've got to be open and ready for that to happen. And so in order to do that, don't put blocks up in front of yourself. Many people are a little bit intimidated, frightened by locations because of what they've heard, word of mouth, the history of the building, and it can sort of put in all of these sort of fear-based energies inside of you before you've even gone into the building. So you want to remove all of those blocks straight away, and you want to remain neutral, objective. Put aside all of those, be present, and never assume that just because you're experiencing this, it's paranormal. I mean, it's lovely to do that, don't get me wrong. Coming from a spiritual medium, it's exciting to do that, but actually, practically, you've got to be rational about this, and you've got to go down the avenue, well, no, it isn't paranormal at all, it's this or it's that. Leave the paranormal to the very last thing. When you've questioned everything and you can't explain it, that's when it's paranormal, I would say, in my experience. Also, like I say, be ready. So if you can take, as I'm sure many of you do, some recording equipment, either video, audio, take a pen and paper, definitely, with a timeline of your event, your paranormal investigation. This happened at this time. And then again, you can use that as a reference point against your baseline check, because maybe at a certain time of day or every 20 minutes, you hear a rattling noise, a rapping noise. And initially, when you're on a paranormal investigation, it's dark, it's cold, you may automatically assume that it's something paranormal wanting to talk to you. But in actual fact, it could be the fact that the pipes in the building rattle down to the pressure within them. It could be something as simple as that, but you're just taking it out of context there. So it's worth having a timeline journal when you're on a paranormal investigation. And also after the investigation, it's worth referring to your notes and to your baseline checks as well. And then again, you can rule things out, can't you? And you can assess it. And if it's unexplainable, then I would say this, you could potentially put it in that bracket of paranormal, and this is where it would be worth you going back to that location on another time and just focusing in on that one thing that you've managed to pick up on to explore it further there as well. But also, we've spoken about doing a baseline check on ourselves before we go into a venue or paranormal location, but we haven't spoken about the actual venue or location itself. Now, this is what I would recommend before, if you're working in a team, before a live stream or you recording or even having a public event. What I'd recommend before any of that takes place, that you and the team go round every nook and cranny of that building. Take a clipboard, a pen and paper, and again, you can take some of your paranormal equipment, such as the K2 meter, measuring for electromagnetic frequency. You can get the vibration equipment as well to check on vibration levels, temperature drops as well. You can use that equipment there. And also, I would say use your natural sensors as well. And go around the building, each one of those rooms, spend a little bit of time. Don't sit there for hours on end, but spend a little bit of time just so that you've got these notes, these reference points. At this time, it was this temperature. And, at this time I heard this knocking sound, and it was down to the pipes in the room, because the boiler automatically switched on at that time. So making reference points like that, and also look into, when you're out and about doing these reference checks, when you're walking about on the flooring there, whether there's some loose floorboards or creaks, make a note of that as well. Also, damp on the walls. Maybe smells in the room as well. Do you get a musty smell in the room? Do you feel quite lightheaded in a certain room? And that could be down to the fact that, there's a lack of ventilation. I know it sounds obvious, but you've got to put these things down. It could be down to that. Also, feeling lightheaded could be down to the electronics, the wiring in that room causing a magnetic sort of pulsing vibration in that environment there that could also lead to you having head pressure, feeling unwell, feeling a little bit sick. So it's worth noting all of these things. Also, any tripping hazards, such as if there's carpet in that building, carpet that's not fully tacked down, it's worth noting that on your baseline check of the building there as well. Also, like I say, checking the floorboards, the ceiling, if there's any cracks there, if there's any expansion in the building. Obviously, when buildings get warm and when they go cold, with all the wood in that framework of the building, it naturally wants to expand and contract. So it's worth writing that down again in your baseline check. And if you have a team of people working on this with this same investigative mindset, then they will be on the ball and they'll be writing and noting these things down. I know it sounds like quite a bit of a faff, but actually, having all this said and written down and then having a team meeting after you've done all of these checks, yes, I found this there and I found that there, it will actually stop you looking like a wally later on when everybody's freaking out because they heard this rapping noise. And actually all it is the pipes expanding. It doesn't look good for you, does it, as an investigation team, if that is the case. And you're talking, all of you as a group are communicating with expanding pipes. And actually you're thinking it's a spirit, but no, can you make a sound, please? But it's the expanding pipes that they're doing. How embarrassing is that? So it's worth doing all of these checks just to save your face as well, and also to get to the root of the issue why you're there, because you're wanting clear evidence of paranormal activity. So if you can rule all of these other things out, I know it sounds like a massive checklist and a to-do list, and let's face it, when we go on in paranormal investigations, we all get excited, don't we? And we don't want to be analytical to that degree. We want to have the experience of paranormal phenomena, don't we? Which is wonderful. It shows that you're open and you're ready to embrace that experience. But it's worth having somebody, at least one person on the team whilst you're going through that experience to say, well, actually, hang on a minute. We noted today at 2:30 p.m. that this happened, and it was down to the pipes knocking. So it's worth having at least one member of the team bringing things like that up so that you've got that balance there on a paranormal investigation, which I'm sure many of you do this anyway. It will come very natural to you, but sometimes it needs to be mentioned. I find it needs to be mentioned and brought up. So this is the point of this conversation today there. And also, what some people don't realize is that, if you're near pylons, electricity pylons, if the property or venue is near that, or underground cabling, that can have an impact on how you feel in that building. With the electromagnetic charge there, it can bring on like a sickness, a nausea, maybe pressure in the head there, a little bit of dizziness. So it's worth observing what's happening outside and underneath that venue or location, because that will have a bearing. Also vibration as well. I know it sounds obvious, but it's worth looking at external to the venue, like I say, if there's any train lines nearby, or if you're near a main road, or, for example, where the location is, there could have been mining activity underneath the premises. So there's that potential of subsidence occurring. And so that vibration could be that landmass subtly moving beneath you. So it's worth having all of that in your text there in your baseline check before you even start a paranormal activity. Also, be aware of the building, if it has access to Wi-Fi in the building, or if there's a Wi-Fi strong signal nearby. Again, with a lot of sensitive people, that can put them off kilter. It can make them feel sick, nauseous, again, feeling that headache, that pressure there, and just feeling a little bit compressed in that environment. That's not necessarily paranormal, is it? It could be the electromagnetic frequencies from such as Wi-Fi radio signals, mobile phone networks, or masts in that environment, because we all know some of these stands now, they're geared up for the next generation of this technology. And I've experienced it where I've drove by one of these pylons, and instantly leading up to it, I feel headaches coming on, I feel sick, I feel like I want to get out of there as soon as possible. It makes me feel very uncomfortable. And so there will be people that either come to the investigation with you, or, are guests that may have this experience. And so it's worth noting all of these things and ruling them out, even such as Bluetooth devices. For the sensitive individual, this can also trigger a response that's not necessarily paranormal. It's actually man-made, obviously, electronic devices that are causing that. So look out for that. We've already mentioned the uneven floors. Some properties, down to subsidence, will naturally have an uneven floor about it. And, when it's dark, it's late at night, and you're walking in these venues, it can trick your perception, trick your mind, and suddenly you can feel like as though it's a paranormal experience, when in actual fact, it isn't. It's the natural flooring. So having the checks done in the day or an hour or two before the actual event occurs is absolutely essential. And again, I don't want to be a party pooper by saying all of these obvious things, as I'm sure many of you are listening and thinking, well, we do that anyway. That's obvious. We always do that. But I'm bringing it up again because we all get so excited for these events that we can easily forget about doing these things because we're all wanting this paranormal activity, this paranormal experience. And so it's worth doing, and at least having one member of the team that will keep an eye, a bit like a continuity expert on a film or, TV show. They're looking for things that weren't there before. Know that chair's moved. It wasn't like that in the previous scene. So it's worth having somebody with that level of continuity, eye for detail, and that's taking a rational check on the things to get pure, honest, accurate evidence. I would certainly recommend that your teams are doing this. But also monitor all of the subtle changes. As I've said, liaise with either your continuity expert there on the night, the person that's taking the notes and observing the baseline check and all of these things, somebody that's very impartial, that sits on the fence with all of this, is a perfect candidate for this role. And again, they will monitor and then they'll question everything, which is good. And if you have a medium in residence with you, this person will then reference with what the medium is saying, with what the rest of the team is saying, with what the evidence is saying that was backed up by the baseline check earlier that day, not only with the venue, but also with the individuals that had a walk through the venue in the daytime and what they were feeling there as well. So this person has a lot of responsibility on their shoulders, and it takes a certain individual to take this task at hand. Because as I'm sure you are aware, when you watch some of these shows that have people like this, they generally get the finger pointed at them and saying, no, you're a non-believer, you're a skeptic, blah. And, they take quite a lot of flack. But in actual fact, you need these people to bring forward that true, pure evidence, that unrefuted evidence. You need them so that you can reference things. And then, obviously I would certainly recommend, I think this is me just being biased, having a medium or a sensitive person on an investigation as well, so that not only do you have the baseline checks at hand for evidence and reference points, you have the electronic devices there, again, for reference points and check-ins, but also on the world of the unseen and energetically, you have a medium there to bring forward their encounters, their experiences and their communications. And then what the medium brings forward, then the team can go and research that information after the event, regarding individuals that they may have brought through or any sort of situations that have occurred in that environment on a historic timeline. The medium may be picking up on the energy that is retained within the walls. Some people call it the stone tape theory, and the medium will pick up on that vibration there. So this person will be checking all of those things during the investigation, before the investigation, and then a lot of the hard work happens after the investigation, where all of this research is collated and then brought together, and then the evidence can be presented. So it's a massive task. And give these guys and girls the credit that they deserve, because in my opinion, they're the unsung heroes of a paranormal investigation. But also, just to round things off, after your paranormal investigation, after the event, I want to say, as an individual, it's your responsibility to ground and anchor your energy. Now, what I'm talking about when I say this is making yourself present again. So I advise my students to stamp their feet, clap their hands, focus on all of their sensations, such as their sight, their hearing, their taste, their smell, their touch, the sense of temperature, and focus in on all of those elements. And that will bring you into your now present moment consciousness. And then at that point, you can then do another baseline check after the event and just see if it aligns with what you originally did when you first did the baseline check ahead of the paranormal investigation. It's very important to do that. Obviously, you don't want to be returning home with any untoward spirits latching onto you. You don't want any untoward emotions from that premises latching onto you there, do you? So you want to make sure that you're clear in doing so. And obviously, as you've heard me say on many episodes before you even go to a paranormal investigation, it is your personal responsibility to do some energetic protection around yourself to stop any untoward energies clinging to you or causing you any harm. But with this being said, it's all right having the protection up, but you're going to have a paranormal experience. So you want to be able to be protected, but also having that sensitivity still there so that you can have these experiences. So it's asking with intention for that to be put in place, again, ahead of your paranormal investigation. So there's a few things that I thought needed to be discussed today. So if you are thinking about organizing, going on a paranormal investigation, that you can maybe assign a person to do this role, but I would say predominantly in the beginning of the investigation, before anybody starts it, as a team, and it's a very bonding exercise where you walk through, have a walk around the environment, do these checks, make reference notes, and then have a team meeting, and then you'll all be on the same page. And this is where it gets really exciting, when everything is a little bit different to what you've collated there. And so there's always that potentiality that it could potentially be paranormal activity. And let's face it, that's what you're going on the investigation for in the first place. Well, now we're going to move on to the next segment of the show, which is this week's channeling from the world of spirit, which sees me becoming a vessel for spirit to bring their communications and wisdom through. And I do love this part of the show. I've had some really interesting feedback about this part of the show, where some of the listeners have found it very very interesting what Spirit have to say, and Spirit's observations on what they can see from their dimension into ours there as well. So, anyway, sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's channeling from the world of Spirit.
It's a good job we're prompt, isn't it? Well, it's smashing to be here and communicate with you once again. We hope you are all keeping very well and looking after yourselves with your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health as well, and emotional health. There's lots to consider, isn't there? But we'd like to draw your attention to your mental health. At this moment in time, you're being bombarded from left, right, and center, from other people's ideas and their controlling mechanisms trying to put you off kilter with your mental capabilities. We ask you at this moment in time to adhere to the feelings from your heart to navigate your mental health. We understand that this sounds a little bit peculiar to you, but we want to assure you that by working in this way and by functioning this way, you won't be distracted by outward influences. Your mental health is a processing unit. It's where you make your choices, and it's where you collate the facts and all what's happening around you, your potentialities that could fulfill and move out forward in your future, and also based upon your past experiences will have a bearing to which choice you make in order for you to facilitate your life's purpose. What we also would like you to be aware of is other people's mental health issues around you. As I'm sure you'll all agree, you're all picking up and witnessing rather peculiar behavior in and around you at this moment in time. We want to assure you that if you look after yourself, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, that you will not be affected by the thought processes that are in your ether at this moment in time. You may stumble across a few wayward thoughts upon your pathway where ideas and maybe personalities come into your own mind from nowhere. But we want you to question things a lot more in your mental capabilities, because it's by questioning things that where you can ascertain whether this is your vibration or the vibration of the ether or those around you in your ether. So questioning what's coming into your mental state is paramount in order for you to keep your true authenticity and your sanity. There's a lot of rhetoric going around at the moment. We don't want you to be attaching yourself to the drama that is unfolding in and around you. Instead, we wish for you to stay calm, resilient, in your own truth and in your own peace. So, the way to do it, as we've alluded to earlier, is to be knowledgeable of who you are as an individual, and your thought processes will follow suit. So, when something feels good to you, you know that you're in alignment. When something feels restrictive or tight, you know that you're out of alignment. And so this will prompt your mind to make more reaffirming life choices that will keep you in the vibration of your choosing. Now, we're not telling you to go this way or that way. We're simply helping you understand the instrument that is your mind. And when you understand it, you have a knowledge base of how to utilize its functions and capabilities. So the mind is paramount, obviously. Next in order and agenda, we want you to look after your physical health. Now, as you know, your physical body is a vessel to carry and house your soul in order for you to fulfill your timeline and fulfill your soul's purpose. And so it is to your greatest advantage to make sure that you're getting the nourishment that you need, the correct nourishment, not the toxins and poisons that are presented and masqueraded to you as good food, as good healthy food, and cheaper food, fast food, and things like that. We don't want you to be suckered in by that advertising campaign. Instead, we want you to understand your body will let you know what you need at that moment in time in order for it to sustain itself on a higher timeline. And what we mean by this is you'll have certain cravings for certain foods. And you'll have a natural instinct that that is what you're needing at that moment in time. Now there's a subtle difference between your body craving what it needs and craving what it wants. What it wants will be the fast food, the man-made food, the quick fixes. Yet what it needs will be self-preparation work with your food. It will also require more organic material and things and foods of a, shall we say, simpler nature, where there's less ingredients, but stacked full of flavor and also vitamins and minerals that will benefit your physical body temple. As you know, it is good to stay hydrated, so plenty of mineral water. And again, we ask you to trust where you feel aligned with the water and the products that you buy in order for you to flourish and grow within your physical body. Now you will notice that by doing this and making sure that you have regular exercise, regular rest, will also benefit your mind, your body, and your spirit and your soul. So with regular exercise, we understand there's a lot of you that are in various states with your physical body. So you need to trust what your body is telling you. Your body will tell you when it needs exercising. Your body will tell you when it needs to go walking, or it needs to spend time outdoors in nature, or if it indeed needs to rest and recuperate. Your body will be the dominant feeling within you, and we ask you to feel into it and to trust it, because it has a wisdom far beyond your intellect. So understand that it's for your highest potential. We want you to differentiate between what you are craving to what your body is needing. There's a fine line between the two. And you will, once you operate in this way, you will understand the difference between the two, and you will trust the information that you're feeling to be that of an accurate nature. Now also your physical appearance. Now this is something we've never spoken about on here before, but we want to address it. Your physical appearance is all down to personal choices, obviously, and we're not judging anybody by saying this. But notice, again, when you're feeling whatever item of clothing you're feeling drawn to wear, or the way that you part your hair, or have you wear your hair, or even have facial hair or non-facial hair. Whatever your preference is, when you become in alignment with your preference, it makes you feel confident, doesn't it? How many of you listening, when you put on a new item of clothing that you've just been aligned to purchase and you wear it for the first time, you have that confidence in your step. You feel a little bit of a vibration about you, don't you? And again, we're encouraging you to listen to your body. Your body will tell you the way that it wants to be displayed out into the ether, out into the world, in your physical world. We understand with some of you there's some physical limitations. And with this said, even though there's these perceived limitations, your body will still navigate and work around those limitations to help you feel at your best in any one moment in time. So when you tell yourself you're having a bad hair day, or I've got acne or something of that nature and it's bothering me, tap into your feeling tone of your body. Beyond the ego mind, the feeling tone of your body will tell you what you need to do and how you go about doing that in order to feel at your best in that moment in time. So it's all about observing how you are, observing how the mind is operating, and also how the physicality of the body giving you that feedback for you to thrive and be the best version of yourself. So we hope this information is helping you navigate your way through every single day. And we want to add a caveat to this message, not to draw and pay attention to what others think or say about you. There's many of you listening that have had your life ruined and put on hold because of the things that people have said or maybe thought about you, and your perception of what they're thinking and what they're feeling. And we say that this does not matter one jot. We say that this is just their opinion, their energy. So if it's theirs, it does not belong to you. So why would you allow something that's not yours take hold and take control over you? You see, when you see it and put it in that fashion, you understand that you have the power and the capability to shine as bright as you can in every one given moment. And we're encouraging you to do this. Obviously, as you do, it has a knock-on effect where it brings and instills that confidence and resilience in others around you. They will see how you're operating and how your life is unfolding. And in doing so, this will then give them that option to go within and observe the way that they're conducting themselves in their life. And when they make that comparative observation, again, it's down to the individual's choices. They can make more choices that help them connect with their highest timeline. Everybody's different. Everybody observes differently as well, so people thrive at different levels. With this being said, we do not want you to judge others, because that is a very negative aspect of the human psychology that we want to eradicate. Instead, we want you to perceive life as oneness. You are all connected. You are all having separate experiences from the same governing source. So with this being said, you're all team humanity at this moment. When you see it from that perspective, you can then empathize but not take on the energy of others. You can then encourage but not control the energy of others. And you can, most importantly, be respectful and responsible for your own vibration and your own choices, which, as we've alluded to, will have a knock-on effect for everything and everyone around you. So it's very important during this time of 2024, and it's banded out there quite a lot with us, stating the year in our transmissions, but you understand it's a very important and pivotal year where lots of changes are unfolding for all of you and all of humanity. The timelines are being deconstructed in order to reach alternative higher vibrational timelines. And so this is why we talk about it at great length, to make you understand the importance of your place in your time and history on your planet at this moment. We want you to understand that there's major changes coming in that will be visible to one and all. Even the most ignorant of minds and persuasions will not be able to ignore the separation and changes that are occurring on your earth plane. That's enough from us now, but we wish you good tidings. We send our love and healing and blessings to you all, and know that you have the power. You are strong, you are deserving, you are worthy, you are divine, you are oneness. Remember that, as that will help you through these expanding times for you all. We send you our love and blessings. Goodbye for now.
Wow, that was a fantastic communication there from Spirit, and one I really enjoyed. It's not very often that they talk about mental health, so it was nice to hear them covering this topic there. And also, it was nice to hear that we don't allow ourselves to be triggered by other people's mental energy that's out in the ether there. So by connecting in with ourselves in our heart and getting to know ourselves on a deeper level will help us to decipher what's our thoughts and what's not our thoughts as well there. Also looking out and observing mental health issues in the society and with others, and obviously making that choice to obviously send love and healing as we're all divine oneness, but also taking that natural self-preservation responsibility for your own interactions there as well. Looking after yourself there as well with the thoughts that you are thinking, and going in and questioning it a little bit more will also help you to decipher what's your thinking and what's the thinking of the society in which you are interacting with there as well. So questioning these things will also help us. Also, don't attach ourselves to drama. Now, obviously, that is a given, isn't it? With most of us in our lives there, we want to shy away from it. There are individuals that do enjoy that sense of drama, but it was nice to hear that confirmation from Spirit telling us that it's not actually in our best interest mentally, emotionally, and energetically there if we attach ourselves to it. But also look after our own physical body. Make sure that we're getting the exercise, we're getting that movement, we're honoring the body temple there, as this is a vehicle for our soul to travel around in. And it was also very on point to hear them talking about our physical diet with the foods that we're consuming. And obviously, it's nice when they point out the obvious, because sometimes we need that. We need that statement there, don't we? So that we eat more sort of fresh foods, more energetic aligned foods with us there that will help us be more buoyant there. So all in all, fantastic communication. Really enjoyed that. Hope you did as well. So we're going to move on to the next part of the show, which is this week's energy forecast reading. So if you sit back, relax, if you have a pen and paper and you're wanting to take some notes or some pinpoints in order to help yourself through the course of this week, then please feel free to do so. In the meantime, here's this week's energy forecast reading. Hello, my name is Glenn Boddice and I'm a spiritual medium, and welcome to this week's energy forecast reading for the week commencing Monday the 18th of March 2024. Now, those of you that watched me before will know that I connect with my spirit guides and helpers and also consult the wisdom of the Angel Tarot card. So what I'm about to do is just shuffle the pack and allow a card to come out, and straight away once you've done that. So this is your card for this week's energy forecast reading. I'm now going to link into the vibration of that. First of all, I feel as though this week is the start of the best things to come, if that makes sense. I feel as though you're going to be finding that throughout the course of this week, there's going to be momentum building, and actually you'll notice that your dreams, your desires are coming into fruition more so this week, and you'll get incremental little steps, breadcrumb-like evidence coming your way, I feel, this week. Also, pay attention to a little bit of tension that you'll be carrying around the jawline, around this area of the physical jaw. I feel what this is you hanging on to stress, hanging on to the old version of you that no longer has any space or room in the present moment consciousness that you're living this week. So if you do feel that pressure there, what I would advise to you is just to relax your breathing, relax, switch off all your electronic devices, relax. Do this towards bedtime is what I'm being told. That way you can wind down, let that tension be removed from your jawline there, and also let go of some of these stressors from the old version of you that no longer has any space in your now moment consciousness. I'm also finding that within this week, you'll also discover that people will be coming out of the woodwork, so to speak. So people that you haven't heard from quite some time now will suddenly drop a message in your inbox, or tag you in a post, or even just reach out to you in a very subtle, gentle manner there. Now, obviously, it is your choice whether to continue this connection with these individuals or whether to let sleeping dogs lie, is just what I've heard there from my guides. The choice is yours. Also be aware that this week you'll have that inclination to get out and about. You'll just feel that fire in your belly and you won't want to be stagnating anymore. When you get the inspiration to go and visit a location, go and travel, have a change of scenery, you'll just get out there and you'll do it. No more excuses now. You'll just feel it and you'll go for it. And I feel as though this energy is also going to spill out in other areas of your life. So in terms of your love and romantic life, I feel as though when you feel that vibration, when you feel that link, when you feel that desire there, you're just going to act upon it and you're going to move forward. Also, has a bearing on your projects that you've been working on in the background and just kind of chipping away at it. I feel as though this week we'll see you actually getting that inclination and working on them diligently and putting that extra effort in to bring it into form. I do sense that your finances are going to improve more so this week, and that it will come in incrementally. And I feel as though with this being the case, you've just got to keep your eye on the ball financially speaking and notice this increased level of abundance coming your way. I'm also getting a bit of a headache building up as I'm linking in for this week for everybody. So I'm being told to tell you not to allow yourself to be overwhelmed by all of these changes that are happening for you this week. There'll be a lot of people that will find it overwhelming and they will become very forgetful, they'll become very angry, they'll become very frustrated, and you are to trust your intuition and stay clear of these individuals in order to thrive in your week ahead this week. So let's turn over the card and let's see what the card has to say to you. Okay, so at the top of the card we have the number 15. So I'd like you to research the angel number 15, as I feel that that is very prominent for you this week. And there's definitely another message in that for you. I'm also being told to tell you to add the 2 digits together. So 1 and 5 is 6, and then research that as an angel number. Underneath that, we have the word ego. I feel as though what this is talking about is you wrestling with that old version of yourself. You're wanting to be right. You are wanting to be right about a situation that you've gone through, and I knew that would happen. My guides are saying to let that version of you go. Again, it will not serve you moving forward. You just have to move with ease and grace and know that things happen for a reason. There's no right or wrong answer. There's only now, there's only presence, and there's only you connecting in with your presence and your divinity there. So let that urge to be right go, because it will not serve you moving forward. Let's read out the inscription at the bottom. So first of all, it says Siamese cat there as well. And then it says, you may feel that you're trapped in your situation, but that's not true. Be careful not to overly focus upon material wealth and break free from negative thinking. Very strong and prominent message there from this card. Looking into that, I feel as though it's kind of outlining what we're saying about you feeling trapped in the situation, and I feel this will also give you that fire in your belly, helping you to move out of your current situation. And also, if you're feeling like you've been penned up indoors, it will also fuel that fire to get out and about more there as well. Also, I feel as though it's telling you just to live in the moment there. So let's take a look at the artwork of the card. Again, we've got the colour of purpley blue around the edging. To me, that's talking about treating yourself. It's talking and telling you to do things that bring you joy in your heart and fulfillment in your life there. It's also talking about spirit connection. And you'll notice this week, there's going to be more interactions from spirit. You'll get those intuitive nudges, those hits in your mind. You'll be thinking about loved ones more in the world of spirit. And you'll just, the minute you think about them, you'll be aware of their presence in and around your vicinity there. It's also telling you that you're going to be spiritually protected this week. Again, remember what we were saying about all of this chaos. There's going to be a few people that are going to be feeling agitated, a little bit angry there, will be feeling very negative and confused this week, people around you. So it's also telling you that you're protected from that. and also you'll feel that inclination to move out of that vibration when you do experience it. Looking into the artwork, again, we've got the Siamese cat there. I'm reminded of that old film, the cartoon, A Lady and the Tramp, where there was two Siamese cats there. They were singing that song, We Are Siamese, If You Please. There's also the Siamese twin there. So I feel as though there's your counterpart coming into your life this week. So watch out for your soul or spiritual counterpart in the physical form coming into your life this week. Also, I feel as though with it being a cat there, it's saying 9 lives. So check out the number 9. It's also talking about the end of a cycle, moving into a new opportunity that's coming your way this week there. So I'd also urge you to research the Siamese cat as an animal totem there as well. But as you can see, there's lots of jewelry around this artwork there, lots of jewelry chests there. So it's talking about wealth, isn't it? And things that sparkle. And it's saying that not everything that glitters is gold. And so trust your intuition this week, as that will help you navigate your way through in the new chapter of your life. Also, it's telling you not to hoard on to your wealth, and your wealth can be your beautiful personality, the love that and light that you possess within your heart. It's telling you not to hoard it, not to hide it away, and actually open up more and express the vulnerable side of you out into the world, as this will be greatly rewarded as a part of you doing that there. There's also a ring there, something about a connection with a person and more of an intimate nature there. So watch out for that coming in. It's going to happen very subtly as well. So that's what I picked up for this week's forecast reading. I hope that aligns with you. Thank you for hearting, liking, commenting and sharing. If you've enjoyed this reading, you would like to help and support the work that I do, I have got a Buy Me a Coffee link above or below this video, which is a virtual tip jar. So all of your donations will be gratefully received and used in accordance with the spiritual work that I do to help people raise and ascend on their spiritual pathway. Also, if you would like a one-to-one private reading or any other of my spiritual services, go over to my website, www.glennboddispiritualmedium.com, or find me on Facebook, Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium, and book in with me there. Joining me every Monday, 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, with my radio show From Beyond with Glenn Boddice, talking about all things spiritual, paranormal and self-help on www.pulsetalkradio.com. Have a fantastic week, everybody. Bye for now.
Well, this week sounds fascinating, doesn't it, for us all there? It's always nice to hear that we're coming to the end of a cycle, moving into a new one. That feels very exciting in itself, doesn't it? But also, paying attention to ourselves this week and just allowing ourselves to unfold without any control from ourselves there. So it sounds like we're in for a fascinating week. I hope that aligns with you. Can I thank you once again for tuning in for this week's show? I do hope that you find the content very interesting and insightful. Again, it's all brought forward from spirit. It's either channeled or influenced. Each show topic is influenced by spirit and then channeled through in that way. So I do hope that aligns with you, and you can take something from this week's show to help you on your spiritual pathway, whatever that pathway may be there. So if you do have any stories of a paranormal nature, or if you'd like to share your spiritual evolution with us here on the show, it would be fascinating to hear from you, and you can contact me by heading over to www.glennboddispiritualmedium.com, or you can email me at glennboddice@live.co.uk. And if you're comfortable with me reading out your encounters on the episode, then please do let me know in that email there. So I would like to wish you a wonderful week ahead, whatever it is that you have planned or you're wanting to do throughout the course of your week this week. Make it a good one. Follow your heart and trust your positive vibes that you're getting. You've probably heard me say this many times. If something is in alignment with you, you feel that sense of excitement and that sense of expansion, and you feel that energy catapulting you forward. Yet if something feels very tight, if you feel tight physically, or you feel very restricted and really like hemmed in, then obviously that is an indication to you that there's something wrong and that you need to maybe look at it further in order to explore it. So have a fantastic week. Join me the same place on www.pulsetalkradio.com, 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, with this very show From Beyond with Glenn Boddice. Take care now, and God bless. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to From Beyond. For more information about what products and services Glenn provides, go to Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium